everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to give you a kind of wrap up of what happened for the Booklist Backlist Readathon that just happened April 11th through the 17th. So I participated in this readathon. So excited. It is hosted by Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand and Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library. They do Booklist Thursday. Every Thursday they bring a bookish topic and do like a top 5. So they decided to have the first readathon ever, and it had 5 prompts. I had full intention of reading 5 books for those 5 prompts, but I didn't. And like they said multiple times, like you can double up, if you find one book that fits all the challenges, cool. I got cocky, you guys. I got cocky and I was like, I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna read 5 books. And so then, like, even some, if you saw my TBR, I'll link it down below, but some of my prompts, or my books, I could fill multiple prompts, but I didn't. And I don't have any excuses except it was just allergies are getting the best of me. So I do have that excuse, I guess. And I just feel like I'm in a brain fog and can't focus on reading. But I did read 4 of the 5. I just didn't do it strategically. So I only got 4 of the 5 prompts. But I read some backlist books and it felt really good. If you guys can see, are you surprised? I'm a girl mom. I've got 2 girls, and apparently one of my grandchildren now is taking space on my shelf. So, creepy baby in the background. My youngest is obsessed with babies, and she sleeps with at least 4, and they are everywhere in our house, everywhere. So, just noticed it, but welcome, baby. Anyway, let's just get into the prompts, and I'll tell you what I did read and what I thought about them. So the first prompt was read a backlist book by your favorite author. Should be the easiest one, you guys, right? Your favorite author. You're going to love the book. I didn't do it. I picked Necessary Lies by Diane Chamberlain, and I did not read it. And let me know if you guys do this with some of your favorite authors or books that you think you're going to love. You don't read them because you're scared to, or scared that they won't live up to your own hype, or scared that then you'll be done, even though I have not read her entire backlist. So I'm not out of Diane Chamberlain books, but I after reading the Dream Daughter, she is top shelf favorite author of all time. And when I read books of hers that are just okay, I feel do I have to change that? Because she's got a couple that are just okay, and she's got a couple that are really great. And so I think that's why I didn't read it. I don't know. It's also, it is a kind of a hard-hitting 50 years ago and then again today, and social workers and hard-hitting women's fiction is what she writes, which I love, but I also just have not been in the mental headspace for it, so I did not read that one. A backlist book that has been collecting dust. So I did read this one. This is The Survivors Club by Lisa Gardner. So this book is about 3 women who they all were victims in some way of a serial rapist. And so he would come rape these women, and one of them he killed. And so it's her sister. She was actually there, she walked in on the event, and so he abused her as well. But her sister died from the rape and the event. So this guy is convicted, he's in jail, and he gets killed. He gets killed on his way to jail. And he's killed by a hitman. And so then these 3 women are the main suspects of who hired the hitman. So there's one that the sister is kind of the lead ringer. I mean, she's the one that talks for the group. And she's kind of the prime suspect. And we find out a lot about the killings. It's just, there's a lot, or the rapes. I mean, so definitely a trigger warning for that. If that is not something you can read about, avoid this book because there is some detail. There's some copycat stuff going on. So is it the right guy? Did we get the right guy? What's going on? My complaint about this book is that it is 500 pages, maybe a little more than 500 pages. And it is too long. It is too long. I got to the middle, a point in the middle where it just dragged and I did not care anymore. And the story, and if I told you everything. If I told you what happened, who done it, all that kind of stuff, it would be like, oh, that's a good twist. Oh, that's a good story. But it just dragged too long. So there was a reason this had been collecting dust, because it's 500 pages, because it's like a tall mass market. I don't really like this format. And overall, I think I'm going to be unhauling this book because I have loved Lisa Gardner in the past. And this one would have been great if it was like 100 pages less. So that's that. Then we've got number 3, a backlist book that has the randomly generated color. So they picked a color, and it was this like telemagenta or something, bright hot pink. So I read The Hot Flash Club by Nancy Thayer, which I guess, I mean, if we're really stretching just to like say I did it, I guess I could count her as a favorite author. She's a women's fiction kind of romancy author that like, she's not a favorite author in the sense that like her books are going to be super meaningful, super impactful. But she is pretty good at delivering like what she says she's going to. So this book is about 4 women, I think. Yeah, 4 women who are just kind of like re-finding themselves in the later stage of life, as you would kind of guess with the Hot Flash Club. So they meet in kind of an unlikely circumstance. They're all at the same party, and they all end up using their skills to like help each other with different problems. So they're all having a problem. They all have a certain skill set, and they all just kind of like mix and mingle to make everything work for each other. And so I really like the female friendship. I really like older characters, although like the description, 2 of them struggle with weight. One of them is like a large African-American lady. These are not large African-American legs. Like, I really have a problem with this cover because these are all very like manicured, very thin women, and that's not what the book is about. But the other complaint I have about this book is just that like they uproot their lives to help each other, and like they just met, and like so like logistically, I don't know if it's even possible to completely uproot your life like that. Like everybody else in your life would just kind of like fall into place as they need to. But then also like, would people do that for people they just met? Like, I don't really know. So you definitely have to suspend your disbelief with this one, but it was entertaining. It was good for what it was. So I call it a win. Next, prompt number 4 is read a backlist book that is a 5-star prediction for you. So I had heard about We're Gonna Need More Wine by Gabrielle Union on Aubrey from Chapter and Converse. Audrey, I'm sorry if I said her name wrong, but I thought this would be 5 stars because I really love female memoirs that are just like empowering, and I love seeing like behind the scenes of how people became stars. And I liked this one. It's not going to be a 5-star for me. It was like, there were times when I laughed. There were times when I could really relate. But overall, it was just okay. Like, I don't know. There was a lot about like race and things that she has struggled with throughout childhood, especially like her dad was big about like keeping up with the Joneses. So he moved them into this like affluent, predominantly white neighborhood, and just her trying to juggle like her 2 identities kind of, and like where does she fit in? And I thought that was really like insightful. And honestly, I thought a lot about different things that you think about. Like she talked about at one point she would get complimented on like when she wore her hair straight and stuff, and it's because she was like, yeah, you're getting complimented because you look more white. And not like that her skin looked more white, but like you now fit in with this white ideal, and like things that I just hadn't really thought about. And she really brought to light some times when just racism is still so prevalent, even in these affluent, like somewhat like supposedly woke areas. I thought it was a good book, not quite a 5-star, but she does have another memoir that's kind of after that, and I think I may like that one better, and I think I may even have it. My hold may have come up from Libby, so I'm going to read that one too. So I liked it, not quite a 5-star, but there we go. And then the last one is a backlist book that has a scripted font for the title. So I did Playing Hurt by Holly Schindler, and this one is a YA. I would say this one is a YA about a girl who she was like the all-star basketball player in her town. She was just awesome at everything, and then she had a career-ending hip injury. And so now she can't play. She has really like lost her identity because she like lived and breathed basketball. That's who she was. That's what she did. It was just all the things to her. And now she can't. And so there's that, her, and then her family decides to go to like this resort area, I think in Minnesota or Michigan or somewhere. Minnesota Lake Resort. So they go up there, and there's a guy that works up there that is also like a late teen, who used to be not a famous, but like well known in his town hockey star. And then something happened to him. It's not a physical injury, but something happened to him that caused him to pull away from hockey and just kind of pull into himself. And so he's running like a boot camp type thing at the place, and so the girl's dad signs her up for it, thinking like he can personal train her to like still get activity, but in a way that's safe for her injury. So the two of them start spending time together. It's kind of antagonistic at first. And they're both very guarded individuals because she has been hurt by her injury and to having everything taken from her. He has been hurt by what happened to him. So they're both just kind of like guarded and not wanting to let others in. There's this book, and then there is a sequel to it, What Happens 4 Years Later. And I read that book and was really disappointed by it. So it almost made this one less good. When I read this one, I would say it was like a 3.5 stars maybe. I didn't really feel like the connection between them as much as I wanted to, and it was just okay, but it's got that scripted font. So overall, I would say my favorite book that I read for this was We're Gonna Need More Wine by Gabrielle Union, but overall it was just kind of an okay time. But I feel really good about it because I got 3 books off my shelf that I'm either going to unhaul or move here. These are my red books, so I'll move down here. So yeah, feels good. Sarah, Lindsay, thank you guys for hosting, and I will definitely be here for the next one. And that's it. If you participated in this readathon, let me know how it was for you. And if you've read any of these books, let me know. And that's it. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.